I'll find Phoenix
Excuse
in a
me.
minute, sorry.
What is all this cameras around here for, mate?
What?
What are you all around
We're
here?
leaving. We might be leaving.
Oh, I'm just
We might be
documenting.
Do me one favour.
Sorry,
But you like Cliff Richard when you was
Cliff
young?
Richard?
When you was young. Sorry, mate.
I don't know if that's a compliment or
Yeah,
an
good
insult.
point. There is actually something there.
This is a sad day for democracy, I think.
And your name is?
Anna.
Annie. And is your name on?
Anna.
Anna, sorry.
I'm a defendant, number 7.
Hang up.
Come here and demonstrate for housing.
Ah, yes. I'm number 7 and Anita is number... Anita.
Mission under violence and section 133 of the series of
Olivaci.
Now, how long you been here?
I've been here since the 16th, no, 15th of May. Anita's been here since the 1st of May when it began. It began on the 1st.
And you're prepared to get arrested?
Oh yeah, they've been arrested loads of times. It will be my first.
It'll be your first?
But I'm prepared.
Are you from London?
Yeah.
And what are your parents going to say?
I'm 31.
Well, I'm
no,
42. My parents still give me a
My
telling
parents
off.
have been arrested for loads of things. I come from this sort of family. My grandfather was arrested and jailed for what he tried to do against the Russians in Hungary. My father's a Tamil from Sri Lanka. He's a leader of a political organisation asking for justice. So I come from this family.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's in my
All right.
genes. So can't do much about that. Unless I'm genetically modified, which might happen. But for now, I'm still safely dissident or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, well, so it will be your first
It'll
time.
be my first. And
First of many.
yeah, I suppose so. Like the suffragettes and like the people in the civil rights movement and other people who've been committed of something and then apologised for. Nelson Mandela.
Who was deemed a terrorist and now is deemed as a freedom fighter.
Yeah, exactly, and is now celebrated. And we're not allowed to put a banner on him which says justice for all or justice for innocent people because we're not respecting him. But that's a statue. It's all a joke. The reason we're not allowed to be here is because we're not respecting property, but we are respecting human beings. They're not. And from the point of view of the legal system, it's incredible that the judge did not listen to our arguments because our arguments are entirely legal. And he squashed all of our arguments before even hearing them. He didn't want to hear them. We had to keep on fighting to be heard. So it felt very fixed. I mean, the arguments we used were you can break a small law to prevent a larger crime from being committed. And this is trespassing, maybe. I don't think it is, but if it is, it's trespassing. And that's to prevent human rights and laws of war, Geneva Convention, etc., from being violated. So we actually had a lot in our favour in terms of the law. But he wouldn't listen. So there's something very wrong with that. And there's something very wrong about an autocratic judge. There's something very wrong with the judicial system anyway, with the legal system anyway, in the sense we had one judge who was actually in the army in the 70s. So it was very apparent to us that we weren't being served justice at all. So, yeah. Within or without the law.
And
Get out my tent. Yeah. Trespasser.
Get out my shop.
Trespasser. Yeah, my shop.
but Boris Johnson still wants to allow people to protest, doesn't
We've
he?
allowed people to protest. The Tamil protesters, there were 2,000 of them, and they were aided, they were given chairs. The elderly people were given chairs, and as far as I know, food and tea was provided. I wasn't here on that day. But that was 2,000 people. A lot of people can't protest here. Stop the War Coalition can't get insurance, can't get permission, so they have to do it with CND. A lot of things that we don't know about have been exposed in this court case. What else? A lot of people who want to protest but can't because they don't have an address or because they don't have money for insurance cannot protest. So the other thing is, we all protested in 2001. What did that achieve? Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the author of 100 Years of Solitude, wrote a beautiful article about how unheard we were. And that's why the form of protest has to change. Marie Curie said nothing should be feared, it should be understood. Understand why we have to protest this way. And anyway, if we're given permission, that means we can't do anything about the changing the system. The permission means that they're not scared. It means that we can't change it. The permission is granted to people who cannot actually do a thing to change the system. So obviously we have to do it in an unlawful way to prevent their truly unlawful behaviour.
Yeah.
We're flouting the law, they're flouting the law. Huge laws, we're flouting tiny laws. actually there's no access to here, there's no crossroad here, so we haven't actually prevented the public from using it. There is no pressing social need to get rid of us.
True.
There's a pressing social need to get rid of them. And what I've understand is routers have gone about seeing if the tourists are for us or against us, and apparently they're for us in the majority. And I think the public are quite... the reason they weren't with us in our stance against the government was because they thought we had such a privilege to be here, but they never understood we have actually been here unlawfully. So they thought the government was allowing us to be here. So this is going to shock a lot of the public who thought, wow, look, England's so democratic compared to China or somewhere. And they're going to be like, oh, wow, so actually we're not as democratic as we thought. I mean, democracy, if people know, protest is not an end in itself, it's a means to an end. It's never achieved the change we wanted, has it? So a lot of people can't face that because it's painful for them, and they want to believe they live in a country which serves their interests, and they just would rather not face facts. And this has been painful for a lot of people, and they argue with us very passionately that we don't need to be here, that our government is great. They don't want to understand our country is a beneficiary of all the other countries. You know, they can't see it, the larger picture. They don't want to. And it's like if you throw a stone in water, you see all the ripples. We see all the ripples. We want to, and we don't see all of them yet, but we want to. And the media don't want us to see all that, and a lot of people are happy to just accept the responsibility their job profile offers them, and are happy to just live in security. I've given up a career, I've given up a place to live, which was quite a nice place to live in that tent, to not know my future, and actually I feel more alive than ever. And I feel like I'm actually living in attunement with my heart for the first time. And I used to enjoy the intellect, I enjoyed the law, the court case to a degree, but now I've realised I'm never going to get justice through the legal system, and I've got to carry on a path I've never been on before, which is a little bit daunting, but actually, as I said, I feel more alive than ever before, and I'm finally living.
And which sort of news media do you trust?
Indie media.
Indie media?
Yeah, the internet, you know,
Yeah.
any of those ZNet and so on, real news. If I have to go into mainstream, it'll be Al Jazeera. If it's British, it'll be The Guardian. Yeah.
The Guardian?
Yeah. But that's it. Yeah.
Good photography.
Yeah, I know most of
Who are you? Are you? Oh, Real News, great. I just mentioned you, that's great. I didn't even know. Yeah, the Real News. My brothers have made me very aware of all of your different news
I'm
channels.
independent and freelance, but I do have stuff to share out.
Perfect. Only the freelancers will ask me good questions. But I'll never lead my own life as an individual again. I'll always be part of a community, because that's the only way to be in touch with the healthy part of you, which is compassionate, connect with other people, and practically that's the only way you can bring about change. And on an environmental level, you use less resources. We had one stove for 50 people, homeless, addicts, etc. And we bonded with those people, and we lost our fear of everyone, and we felt connected. And we use less resources. And we don't use money. We live out of waste bins, we live out of rubbish bins, and this is a real problem for the government because they polish the shoes of corporations. So this is why it's come to an end. Because if anybody joins us, and more people want to, this minority will be disempowered. But the problem is we're a minority, they're a minority. In between we have people who don't know where they sit on the line. And they, without knowing, they enforce them. And they actually feel that they're going to look after them. They still don't understand this government will never look after the people. And the longer we are here, the more that the public will realise that, because it's in there somewhere. Just it's a process. It's a slow process. So this had to end. Otherwise, there would have either been a revolution, a violent one, hopefully not, or people would have learned to live a different lifestyle.
You said you left your job. What job did you have?
I did social work, and that led to teaching, and then I was working for charities where I taught adults with learning problems to read and write, and I discovered they don't have learning problems, they were teaching problems.